FFA Showman Bailey Anderson and Ryan Dobkins, please come to the ring. Also joining this class is going to be our beginning showman, Nick Ivy. Currently in the ring, we have our advanced and beginning classes for our FFA Meet Go Showman. Out of this class today, the overall champion and reserve champion will be representing their respective chapters in the Master Showmanship event at 7 o'clock this evening. Out of this class, our overall champion will receive a banner hosted by Jennifer and Justin Dobkins of 4D Ranch, and will also receive a belt buckle sponsored by Cat Ag Aviation and Stoddard Fencing. Let's give a round of applause for these contestants and our sponsors today.
Well, a big applause for your FFA showman this morning. We had a smaller class, so I had a chance to work them a little different than I normally do. If you had a larger class, a little more time to switch animals and stuff. As we look at this class today, we really combined two classes. So we had the two ladies in the back were your advanced showmen today, and the young man in the front was in your novice division. We went ahead and showed them all together, and then we'll pick our overall as well. So I'll place them accordingly. So I'll talk about them a little bit to start with. So starting with our novice showman, a gentleman just got into showing goats this year. He's got a weather out there. He's done a good job of controlling it. You can tell he's a little uncomfortable with how to brace it and your hands on the head. Sometimes the foot placement isn't as precise as we'd like, but for a novice showman, first time out in the ring, did a great job of showing that animal. It controlled him even when he went through, which I would normally not put a novice showman through showing different animals, and he did a great job of transitioning, and he didn't get frustrated, and he was very calm with them. So great job, and of course in our novice division, well deserving of winning that division, even if he had some competition today. So great job there. We'll talk about our two advanced ladies here. The lady with the doling here, did a great job. Doling is definitely the hardest one in this ring to show today. These younger animals, they just don't like to stand still. Kind of think about your kids running around. It's a lot like that. They're always wanting to move on you. She's very good about precise foot placement. She's very calm when she moves around it. We went to the different animals. She was great at making sure the feet were set to make that animal look the best when she went around to the different animals. So she did a great job there. Young lady with the larger, older doe here also did a great job. Talk about somebody that you can tell she's worked with this animal. This doe was the easiest animal to show in the ring, and it's not because she was lucky. It's because somebody has worked with it and done her work at home. The doe is very well behaved. Do they get older like this? Sometimes they can get cantankerous. They can put their head down and bull you around, and you didn't see this one doing that. So excellent job on that. Moved around the animal really well. So again, well deserving, both quality showmen. When it comes to my champion in reserve in my advanced category, and I'll let the cat out of the bag, will also be our champion reserve in our overall category, taking nothing away from the gentleman that did a great job showing. It really came down to foot placement and getting that animal in its best position. I think the showman that I'm going with champion today, whether it was the weather, whether it was the doling, whether it was the doe, always had that animal's foot placement and didn't settle for where the animal wanted to stand, but made that animal stand where it looked the best. So I'll go set down the mic, grab a couple of awards, and I'll award my champion overall FFA showman and then my reserve. Big round of applause again for these kids. Yeah, yes, please.
Our overall grand champion showman is Bailey Anderson. And our reserve champion overall showman is Ryan Dobkins. Let's give these contestants a round of applause as they exit the ring. I gotta do Gary before. On deck, we have our Dairy Goat Showman division for the FFA. Our advanced class is going to be Ryan Dobkins. And our beginning class is also going to join her in the ring with Mary Jean Povis. Please make your way to the ring at this time. Thank you. She's going to be sitting at the table over there. Just tell her you're here to hand out ribbons. Thank you. Currently in the ring are our FFA Dairy Goat Showman. We have both of our advanced and beginning classes currently in the ring. Immediately following this class, we will begin our 4-H Goat Showmanship.
So I'll have you bring yours out first here. So I'm going to have these two members tell us a little bit about their project and a little bit about themselves. So I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. My name is Ryan Dobkins, and this is my doe Pixie. I've had her since she was a baby, since she was raised on our farm, and she was a triplet, and she was the only one that survived. And her mom was also a rescue, so she was not the strongest, but we ended up having her, and she's now 6 years old, and we've been milking her for about 3 years. And I'm actually lactose intolerant, so I've been drinking her milk instead of cow's milk, and we sell it to other people that are also lactose intolerant. We also feed it to the goats as bottle babies, and we sell it to other people for like dogs or just anybody who enjoys goat's milk or can use it for their animals. And we also drink it ourselves, so we save a lot of money on cow's milk. And that's why I've been breeding dairy goats for the past about 4 or 5 years, really breeding them. So, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. And I didn't know about goat's milk not having lactose in it, so I learned something today. So thank you for that. Go ahead and bring yours out. And go ahead and introduce yourself and tell people about your project.
I'm Jean Povis. This is Moonshade. She is a registered Nigerian dwarf. This is her first freshening. She had 2 weather kids, and now over there crying, her little doe kid. We use her milk to make soap. We just got into it. This is one of our first registered goats. She is a year old. I don't know if I said that. I milk by hand. They're my first goats, so I do most of the stuff on them. I'm really proud of her because of her udder. She's got good form. Yeah, I don't drink the milk just because I don't drink milk, but yeah, she's really good. Use her milk also to help other bottle babies like that were rejected, or that one. She's a bottle baby just because we want her to be tame. Like I said, soap. We started soap, and this is my second year having Nigerian dwarfs.
Thank you very much. I apologize. I'm not doing a very good job here. You got our halter?
Yeah.
As you can see, both these individuals do much better with their owners than they did with me. So, great job. Well, unfortunately, we only have the 2 contestants of this dairy goat division. The great thing is these ladies have done a wonderful job raising their projects. Again, big round of applause before we talk about them and award them their awards. In front, we had our advanced showman. You can tell she's got a little better ring presence. She moves around her animal maybe a little smoother. Has done a excellent job with this. Probably has a little more public speaking skills because she did an excellent job on the mic telling people about her project. You know, no suspense here. She's going to be my champion dairy goat showman for today. Congratulations. Now, as great as that is, I mean, for this lady to come in as a novice showman and somebody hand her a mic as a novice in the ring and be able to talk to everybody, I mean, that's harder than you think. With a lot of people, public speaking is like the #1 thing that they're scared of. So she did a wonderful job, told us everything about her project, and she did a great job out here showing her goat as well. And I wish them both the luck with their project, and they did a great job. So good job, ladies.
Our overall dairy grand champion is Ryan Dobkins, and our reserve overall champion is Mary Jean Povis. Let's give them one more round of applause.
Done?
You're hot.
Good morning, everyone. We are going to transition now into the 4-H classes for showmanship. But before I jump into that, I'm going to read the names for our first class. So all of you senior youth, you can come over here and get lined up. And then I'm going to take a few minutes to thank some sponsors. So in our first senior showmanship class for 4-H, we have Bailey Anderson, Dylan Heath, Sierra Adams, Hayden Heath, and Tyler Anderson. If you guys wouldn't mind getting lined up over here. The other thing we want to take a quick minute to do, you can just kind of stay back there for a minute. Yeah. Thank you. You're just utter on top of it today. Okay. Want to take a quick chance to thank some of our sponsors for the Goat Show and the Goat Ring and the Goat Awards and all of that. We wouldn't be able to award our kids with some of the neat things that were given out today, buckles and bags and some of the awards that they got yesterday without these sponsors. So we want to take a moment here and read them off. So in sponsoring the Goat Shows, we have Opal Springs Farm, KC and Beth Bear, Rising W, Rob and Jody Wittenberg, Top Notch Electric, Gary and Shannon Richards, Carson Oil, Dusty and Beth Corwin, Smoking Pit Barbecue, Francis and Lillian Estep, Apex Physical Therapy, Brock Monger, Don and Candy Gomes, Antelope Home Extension, Lynn and Judy Carroll, Jim and Melanie Carroll, Brad and Linda Clowers, Boyle Family Farms, Central Oregon Ranch Supply, Central Oregon Seed, Mike Weber, Snow Problem, Tom Smith, Fox Hollow, Martin and Nancy Richards, and Jay and Alexis McCabe. Can we get a round of applause for our sponsors this morning? Before we jump into this, though, I have a quick question for you. Does anybody know what you call a goat swimming across a lake? A motor goat. Oh, man. Rough crowd. There was this. I was at a wedding a couple weeks back, and they brought a DJ in. And the DJ was a goat, and I was a little nervous about it at first, but I got to be honest, he laid down some pretty sick bleats. And I don't know if you guys were here on Tuesday when we brought some goats in. I was talking with one of the families that brought their goats in the back of a minivan. And they had two back there, and I said, how come they didn't bring the rest of their herd? And they said they didn't have any more ruminants in their van. All right, let's keep going here. Rough crowd. Wow. Okay. Senior Showman. Bailey Anderson, Dylan Heath, Sierra Adams, Hayden Heath, and Tyler Anderson, please come into the ring.
Okay, big round of applause for these senior showmen. Just so these three can keep working, I haven't placed my top three yet, so you guys can keep showing while I talk about the rest of them. So I'll start with my two showmen I have here in line here. The young lady we have with the spotted goat. I mean, showmanship is a partnership situation. She's staying calm. She continues to work at it, but this goat does not want to be here today. Does not want to stay in line, and unfortunately, her partner isn't working for her today, and that's her biggest challenge here in the show. Just isn't working with her. So we're gonna leave it at that. And I know she can do a better job than this, but it takes two to make this work. Young man here with the blue shirt. He's very smooth around his goat. You can tell he's a little awkward in how he holds the head sometimes and the bracing of the animal. Actually has the feet set up pretty well right now, but sometimes the feet don't get set up quite as well. Probably just like to see him a little smoother moving around the animal. Like to see that head up and back a little more to make that animal look its best. Again, I think this is just an experience situation, and he's going to get better at it. But I think they both give us a great effort and did a great job today. But they just couldn't make them my front line. They just didn't have the partners to work with them and the experience. So big round of applause for these two. So when we look at my front lineup, these three. You can tell they've shown these goats before. You can tell that they've put some time in them. They get the goats' heads up. They get them braced. I think it comes down to the smoothness as which they move around the ring, how well their partners want to work with them a little more, and just how well they brace their animal and that. So when I look at these three, I really think that one stands out for me. And when we go to pick our champion 4-H showman this morning, we're going to go with this young lady in the middle. She did a great job. So good job. This small goat, the small wether here, always set up. She braced it really well. You can see his head is straight up out of his neck. Those feet are always where she wants them to be. So great job there and well deserving of our champion. It's a little tighter for me when we start looking at my reserve. Two young men here. This goat, I feel, is always set up a little better for me. His feet are on the corners a little more. You're a little more awkward in how you brace it. Probably like you to get into the front of it with your shoulders turned a little more when I go to handle it, which is more of a technique thing, and that's there. The big goat here, sometimes he wants to dance and prance around the ring, and he wants to get his feet a little closer together, and I don't think the feet are quite as precise. So when it comes down to it, which one probably did a better job of getting it around? I think that the young man up here in front will be my reserve champion today. He just looks a little more comfortable with his goat. The goat's not working quite as well for him, but you can tell that head is up. Right now he's got that goat looking good, and he'll be my reserve champion, so good job. Taking nothing away from this young man, did a great job in the show ring today, so good job there. So big round of applause for my my senior showman here in the 4-H division, and hope you have a great rest of the fair. So.
Our champion senior showman, Miss Bailey Anderson, and our reserve champion senior showman, Tyler Anderson. Just so y'all know, we're going to work our way through the intermediate and then the juniors, and then the champion or reserve champion from each of those divisions will come back to compete for an overall grand and reserve grand champion. So next up, we have our intermediate goat showmanship class. In the ring, we need Jonathan Solis, James Smith, Kara Todd, Riley McCabe, and Josie Scott.
Okay, round of applause for my intermediate showman today. So again, I'll talk about these two individuals down here that are stacked in line. Then I'll talk about our three that are out on the profile. Young lady with the brown goat did a good job today. I'd say where we'd like to see her maybe advance in the future would be setting that goat up a little more on the corners. Seemed to calm down a little more after he got out here. At first was definitely not wanting any part of the show ring, but seemed to do a good job there. Very calm holding the goat. Just sometimes that goat gets really out of place. Right now, I'd say this is probably the best this goat's been set up all day, and she's doing a wonderful job there. So, our next showman, talk about calm around his animal, or around the animal, very smooth around the animal. You can tell the walks around the ring wonderful. Sometimes we stop and doesn't really want to set it up. That's where I'd really change you as a showman, is getting that weather set up a little more precisely on a regular basis. But again, good job, and both of them blue ribbon showmen for me today. So we get to our three top showmen in this class, and I'll talk about them a little bit and what I like and what I don't like, and then I'll set the mic down and I'll pick your champion in reserve. I don't think it's quite as clear cut as we saw in our senior division. Each of them have parts where they really excel, and each of them have parts where they are challenged. So young man with the paint goat here moves around the ring very well. Gets his animal set up. I like that. Maybe a little jumpier setting it up, not quite as smooth, so a little more smoothness when you're moving around the animal. But I get that too. You get a little adrenaline and you want to get it done fast, and you do a great job of doing it fast. Where I change you is I really want you out in front of that goat and get your hands on that head when you're bracing it, and get it under the jaw and get more in front of it, and not use that chain to brace the animal. I'd really like to see you use your hands on the head to brace it, and that would be where I'd really change your showing style to improve it for me. But did a great job of getting it set up. Move around the ring. Very good there. Lady in the middle here, when we talk about moving around the ring, this weather does not want to move around the ring. This one wants to fight her the whole time. Now, she didn't get frustrated with it. She kept it going. She did get it moved around the ring. Now, when you get in position, she has her goat set the best of anybody in the show ring. That goat is level down its top. She's right in front of it, heads up, bracing that goat. The legs are on the right corner. So, when I talk about when they're stopped and you want to see them how they're supposed to look, she does the best job of that. Unfortunately, this one doesn't want to move around the ring for her, so that's her challenge today that she has. And that might change with a different animal, but she did stay calm, and it's very easy to get frustrated with an animal out here and kind of throw up your hands and give up, and she did not do that. So great job there. Young man on the end here, smooth moving around it. I like how he gets up and braces the animal. He's on the animal. He's got the head of the animal. Sometimes sets that animal up perfect. And other times, like right now, the animal gets out of line. The feet get out of alignment. I'd like to see those feet out on the corners when you're in line. That would be my preferred view. And if it takes a little longer to do it, I'm happier if you can get that done. So, again, all three of them did a great job. They all have things they work on. Sometimes it's their partners that are the challenge there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and set down my mic, and I'll select my champion showman and then my reserve champion.
Thank you. Good job. Do we have a callback? Lucas, what time? Once the juniors are done. We're starting juniors.
All right, our champion intermediate goat showman, Riley McCabe, and our reserve champion, James Smith. As a reminder, champion and reserve champions, you guys need to stay on deck because once we're done with the juniors, we're going to bring you back in for overall grand and reserve grand. We have two classes of juniors, so we're going to separate you up into two classes. So the first class, I need Joanne Garcia, Bonnie Scott, Maddie DuPont, and Carson Calgren.
One's over there. He's over here because those kids over there. Hello. People record every spices for boss, Mr. Boss Green. Always learn. She got shaking the table.
I might have to come back and turn this on.
Where do you get this?
He gets it off of his iPad. What are those noises?
Mordecai door maybe?
Round of applause for my first class of junior showman here. So we have our two callbacks. I'll talk about these two in the final drive. So I won't talk about them. They're not placed right now. So these two will come back for the championship round. Great job for these two. And congratulations, and we'll see you in the champion drive. Two we have over here, I think individuals that struggled a little more in the ring with getting their feet set and controlling their animals, but made great strides even from the beginning of the class. We'll talk about the young man to start with. His doe did not want to be out here when he first came out here, but you know what? He stuck to it. This doe kind of came around. She calmed her down a little bit. He's able to set her feet up now and doing a great job at staying calm and staying with it and keeping it going. So great job for you, young man. And then our young lady right here, goat came in. His halter was a little backwards from how we normally used it, so we kind of changed it around for her, and the goat seemed to appreciate that and respond to her a little better. You can tell she spends a lot of time with this goat. Probably wants to nibble on her now and run around in the pasture with her. So she does a great job there. She sets the feet up. Be a little more aggressive setting the feet up, but she does a great job. And this was a blue ribbon class of juniors. They all deserve a big round of applause, and we'll see the next class of juniors here in a second.
All right, so the two callbacks that will be coming back to compete for a junior champion or reserve champion is Maddie DuPont and Johan Garcia. Real quick before we call the next class of juniors, I do just want to take a moment and recognize and say a big thank you to Miss Jamie Hurd, who has stepped up and helped me clerk the GO shows the last 2 days. And for those of you that don't know, she's also one of our Jefferson County 509J school board members. So anybody who has questions about the new bond levy they just put on the paper last week, she'd be happy to talk to you about bond levies for the school district all day long.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Love you, Jamie. Okay, the next class, junior showmanship. Kira, Juliet, Hunter, and Izzy.
You're a funny guy.
The first one got me.
I've got to. I have to call somebody actually after this. Yeah.
You're my boss, right?
That's right, man.
Are you stressed?
you prefer to last to the final? So if you were grand champion, you get this banner, you get that banner. So if you just champion, you just get the banner. No, you get, if you were grand champion, I'm telling you, if you were grand champion, you win this, this, and this. Yeah. Except the 7. When you show you the yeah, so like it's called racing. So it's called you guys was both racing. So when you take part in the US, so you can come back and see how it's all right. And if you haven't got the feet exactly lined up, so never did. He was kind of wild for me at the Vegas show. I didn't care at all. I didn't care at all.
If you listen to this guy, it's kind of giving tips. So if your sheep gets a little wild, just kind of try to stay patient and slow. And you can move around to every animal and slow it up and jerky.
Yeah, they were just really good.
Okay, round of applause for our second class of juniors here. So we've got 4 in this class. The young lady I've pulled out over here, blue ribbon junior showman, is this goat's calmed down a little bit. She's starting to get its feet set up, get its head up, working with it. He just didn't want to work with her really, really well and be a good partner early on in the show. So, she keeps working at it. She keeps doing a great job. So again, round of applause for her and definitely blue ribbon showman. Our other 3 we talked about, they're pretty close. They move them around the ring, they get them set up. So we're going to let it sort itself out in the champion drive. I'm going to bring all 3 of them back for the champion drive, and then I'll talk to them about that. But a round of applause, and we'll see these guys here in a second. So good job, guys.
You want me to keep these at the table for you so you can come back and you're going to come right in the ring. Okay? I'll hang on to this. All right, I want you to leave the ring and just stand right out there.
All right, so coming back for our junior champion and reserve champion showmanship is Johan Garcia, Maddie DuPont, Juliette Garcia, Hunter Green, and Izzy McFarland.
We wanted him just a little bit bigger, in case, stressing out and stuff, for baths and things. Um, wanted a little bit more.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's,
warm.
you're better. And when you show the boys, like his cousins, regular that he goes for,
Hey, girls. Hey. Hey, no, here. Back up. Stop.
It's in the wrinkle. Isn't it a big class?
No, it's a different.
But you lost the people. I'm just saying what I get to use this. You lost the people.
no.
But he's too embarrassed. Between him and his girl. Yeah. She's shorter. He's consistent. He's just over 100. Got it.
Big round of applause for our championship drive here in our junior division. So I didn't talk to these guys, or I talked about these guys much in class because they were coming back. So I'll just describe them a little bit for you, and then after that I'll pick my champion in reserve. So we get out here on the young lady in the blue. Talk about the person that can really drive her goat. This is the one that can drive her goat the best. When that goat gets set up and she starts driving it, that goat looks the best and she does a great job. You know, she's had some challenges with that goat sometimes, wanting to side squirrel away from her, not stand in line. Every once in a while she can't get it set up, but again, when she gets that goat stuck, it is she does a great job of it. So good job there. Young man in my second hole here today, and again, I haven't placed these yet, but standing here, does a great job moving around the animal smoothly. Always calm, reaches over. I like how he reaches over and grabs the feet and gets them placed. Probably the one thing I'd like to change about him is work on his bracing so that he can drive that goat a little better. He tends to be off to the side, not in front of the goat. I'd like to see him a little more in front of the goat, driving the goat, but does a great job moving smooth, getting that goat set up. That goat's walked around the ring great ever since he came into his first class. Young lady I have in the middle here, pretty consistent showman for me today. There was a few times this goat balked a little and didn't want to move, but for the most part, she gets it around the ring. She gets his feet set up on all four corners. She gets in front of it and braces it, so I like that. You know, every once in a while we could be a little nitpicky about a foot here or there, but good, consistent job for me today out here in the show. The taller lady here in fourth, I would say, she gets in front of that goat. She gets the head up when she's getting it braced. I like that. I'd like to see a better foot placement on this goat. Sometimes it gets a little narrow on the back. Sometimes it gets a little too stretched out for me. But does a great job of keeping that head up and getting into that goat. Gentleman down here on the end, you know, has been pretty consistent. There's been a few times this goat would step out. He does a great job getting the head up on this goat. Working at it, I think this goat's harder to show than you think it is. I think he wants to suck back on him. He's stuck with it, and he's done a good job right now. You tell he's into that goat. Goat's on all four corners. I think he's just had a few challenges during the show with the goat not wanting to work with him, but you know, he stayed calm, came back to it, and has done a great job. So I'll set the mic down. I'll look at them just a little more. I'll select your champion, and then your reserve.
So our champion junior showman goes to Izzy McFarlane, and our reserve champion junior showman, Juliet Garcia. Thank you. You guys worked hard. Good job. Good job. You kids and your kids can leave the ring. Okay. So if we could have back to the ring for the grand champion drive, our senior showman, Miss Bailey Anderson, our reserve champion showman, senior Tyler Anderson, our champion intermediate showman, Riley McCabe, our reserve champion intermediate showman, James Smith, our junior champion, Izzy McFarlane, and our reserve champion junior, Juliet Garcia.
However you want. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. Might be more comfortable if the seniors came in first.
If we could have the seniors go in first, that would be awesome. No, that's fine.
Mom. Mom, look.
What you like about it the best and what you would like to change, and you'll give me your name first. So I'll have you come out here and hand me your goat. So I'll start with you.
My name's Bailey Anderson, and I personally think that you have to love how wide-chested my goat is and how uphill he runs. I think that if you could change him, I would like to make him a little bit heavier muscled and a little bit stouter boned, but I think that he has a lot to offer, so you have to appreciate the pieces that he has.
Me.
Hi, my name is Tyler Anderson, and this is my market goat, and I would like to change how skinny he is in the chest and the dip in his back. I don't really like the way his back looks, and I wish his chest was a little bit wider.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Riley McCabe, and one thing I really love about my goat is how wide and level topped he is. And if there's a couple things I would like to change about him, I'd like to make him a little bit stouter boned and a little bit wider chested, cleaner fronted.
One thing I like about my goat is has a lot of muscle and he sets up pretty good. And one thing I'd like to change is I would like him to set up even better.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Julia Garcia, and one thing that I love about my goat is that he's calm and sweet, and one thing that I like him to change is that he can set up better.
Good. Okay.
Hi, my name is Izzy McFarlane, and something I love about my goat is his muscle, and something that I'd like to change about him is the way he sets up his feet, and that it'd just be a little easier to set up.
Makes sense. Great job. Give him a round of applause for that. Okay. It's been a great goat show. I appreciate you guys having me here this year. I'll be doing the master showmanship tonight, but after that, this is probably the last time I'll get a talk on the mic in the goat show. So, congratulations to all you kids bringing out some nice projects. Again, your superintendent talked about the sponsors. None of this couldn't be done without the sponsors and the parents. All you kids, hopefully you thank your parents for bringing you to the show. It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of commitment to get one of these projects ready. So we'll end our goat show on our overall champion and reserve champion showman today. I'll go ahead and set the mic down and pick my champion goat showman.
As Mr. Burns goes out to make his last selection, let's get a round of applause for Mr. Burns and being our judge for this week. Great job, our grand champion goat showman, Bailey Anderson, and our reserve grand champion, Riley McCabe. Look for them to represent the goats in master showmanship tonight at 7 o'clock.
Thank you so much.